Up next is Lindsey Young. You were hiding. I just saw you up there.
Bruce Firestein once said that the difference between insanity and genius is success. And that probably tells you all you really need to know about the two people in that photo. I'm Lindsey Young, and this is my husband, Joey, and as of June 1st, 2012, we are the youngest newspaper owners in the state of Kansas. Joey works full-time for the Clarion at our office in Andale, and I teach by day at Haven High School. And every week we put out our newspaper together here in our living room in Hutchinson with rigorous oversight from our schnauzer, Casey. She's a slave driver. Most of the photos that you're about to see were taken by our wonderful reporter and photographer, Fred Solis. We're really blessed to have him as a part of our company. And we also have our managing editor, Adam Strunk. He's sitting right over there. He's okay. These photos are a great representation of what we do every week, covering everything from harvest and local fundraisers to small town government and our schools. Owning a newspaper has been one of the most scary, rewarding experiences of our lives, and it's really helped us to connect with the communities that we cover more than we ever thought was possible. Every week we delve into the lives of the people of Haven, Mount Hope, Colwich, Andale, and Mays. And it's humbling that so many people let us be a part of their lives and what they do. And one of the things that I'm really struck by, and I hope you are too, as these photos slide by, is just how much really goes on in a small town. And we've come to believe very strongly in the power of local journalism. We're often the only ones sitting in the back of the room at our city council and school board meetings, and we give voice to issues that our readers are never going to hear about on the 10 o'clock news or read about in the daily newspaper. It's our job to tell the stories that nobody else is telling. And I know that me waxing poetic about journalism makes you kind of maybe wonder how long our ride as journalists will last. A lot of us got to hear Morley Safer on 60 Minutes say, "The facts of life are that newspapers are folding all over the country. It's a dying business." Well, respectfully to Morley Safer, he's an idiot. Okay, that's not really respectfully, but it's true. And the small town community newspaper is thriving, and if you don't believe me, billionaire Warren Buffett agrees. He's been buying up newspapers like ours all over the country, citing the fact that a newspaper that delivers, quote, comprehensive and reliable information to tightly bound communities will remain viable for a long time. And who am I to disagree with a guy who's offering $1 billion for a perfect March Madness? Clearly the newspaper business is doing pretty well. If you would have asked me a few years ago if I thought that right now I'd be a co-owner of a business and publishing a newspaper, I would have told you that you are crazy. But as Joey likes to repeatedly remind me, this is entirely my fault after I recruited him to be on the collegiate staff with me at HCC, and he fell head over heels with the profession. When we had the opportunity to purchase the paper, we just couldn't turn it down, and it's become a labor of love, not only for Joey, but for me as well. So we bought a 127-year-old publication. The front page on the left is from 1999, when the paper was a small black and white tab style. The one on the right is what it looked like the year before we took over. As you can see, it was kind of boring, a bit out of date, definitely lacking in pizzazz. So, the night that we put out our first issue, we stayed up till 6 a.m. while Joey painstakingly redesigned the Clarion into a modern work of art. And as you'll notice, we now not only have the Clarion, but we also started a second publication in October of this past year called the Mays Free Press. Another addition from this past year was the creation of an opinion page that features a weekly editorial to address issues that really matter to our readers. Being a voice of reason in the community is a duty that we take incredibly seriously, and having this page allows us to do that job. As Joey likes to say, a newspaper without an editorial page is a newspaper without a soul. And of course, being an entrepreneur means that you're really exhausted and you try to grab rest in all kinds of places, even if you look ridiculous on a tiny couch. But it's really extremely rewarding, and I encourage any of you to embrace the challenge of entrepreneurship. And the good news is that you don't have to do it alone. These are some people from one of the groups that Joey and I have found so helpful in mentoring our path in the newspaper world, the International Society of Weekly Newspaper Editors. Through this organization, we've met so many amazing people who have freely and graciously offered a lot of advice to help us be successful. Another group that we've become a part of is the Reno County Young Professionals. It's given us a very needed outlet to be social and obviously a little bit weird too. But getting involved in groups like these makes entrepreneurship easier, because when you're trying to do most of the work all by yourself in the early days of a business, trust me, it's easy to feel really isolated. And there are a ton of organizations that are willing to help you get started. Ron Hurst at the Quest Center gave us a ton of advice when we were working towards buying the paper. HCC has great resources. The Chamber is full of wonderful people who are intensely supportive, and I could probably go on and on about all the organizations that can help you get started. So my challenge to you is to take your passions and run with them. As self-made billionaire, Mark Cuban likes to say, and my husband likes to repeat all the time when we talk about the business, no balls, no babies. There is absolutely nothing easy about getting started with your own business, but it's worth it. Think about that one later. The beauty of trying things while you're young is that you can screw up and it's okay. You can dust yourself off and try again. Just look around town. There are tons of storefronts that you can open something up in and try something out. If more people took the plunge to take a risk and try something new, we'd never struggle to see the buildings fill up on the main streets of our towns. It's not easy to be the youngest newspaper owners in the state of Kansas, and it's not easy to take over a publication that's been around for over a century and turn it from an antiquated, poorly designed newspaper into a modern voice for a community. But that's what we've discovered over the past 2 years, is that being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that things are always going to be easy. In fact, they're going to be really hard, but the rewards far outweigh the struggles.